Hello, and welcome back to Roll4It. Unfortunately, we don't have Scarlett again today. Miss Carsnell is ill, so she won't be joining us today, unfortunately. Go, like, send her, like, all the Twitter love. How do you do the love thing again?
Oh, there's two ways of doing it.
That one. There we go.
Or you can do that.
Yeah, that one always looks like a weird, like, rocket ship upside down.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was gonna say that looks more like the Elite Dangerous symbol, the Elite symbol.
Yeah.
I don't know. The guy who plays Loki did it in an interview at one point, and it was all over Imager forever. Forever. All over Imager forever.
Maybe he's just got weird shaped thumbs.
Don't hold his thumbs against him.
I know, that's mean.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm saying it's an advantage if he can actually make a heart that way.
I got double jointed thumbs.
Otherwise, it's a weird shape.
My thumbs can bend all the way back.
That actually hurts.
I would think your thumbs were broken if I saw that.
Yeah. I can't, like,
What, that?
if I try to do, like, thumbs up, I have to really consciously think to hold my thumb like that instead, because naturally it just goes like that. Just wants to go all the way back.
There's an entire nation of people we're offending right now. Sir Gavin. Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we shouldn't be doing this.
Thanks for following.
Okay,
I'm a little tired. I'm falling into my usual habits of like calling out all my followers and subscribers.
You're so professional, you're just falling straight back into it. Yeah, welcome back to Roll4It, the charity D&D show where we play some D&D and raise some money for charity.
Yay.
So, what have you been up to since last week? Anna, your hair is looking stunning today.
Thank you. What have I been up to since last week? Fallout 4, obviously. That was yesterday.
I suspect that's going to be true.
If you haven't been doing Fallout 4 since last week.
If you haven't been, yeah,
One.
Yeah.
One of us.
And I played this great game called Anna's Quest. And it's hilarious because it's like me. It's like little me traveling through a mystical realm. It's funny, but only if you're me.
Okay.
That's the most exciting thing that's happened, I think.
More or less exciting than Fallout. I mean, it's your own realm.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, the fact you're having to think about this says quite a lot, actually.
Well, I'm a small channel. I mean, compared to you guys, I'm a pretty small channel, so I don't get a lot of extra views out of Fallout. Like, Fallout is a serious mixed bag for me, because the much larger channels are getting the bulk of the views. On the other hand, Geek and Sundry was kind enough to host me for a period of time while I was playing it yesterday, so I got a bunch of views off of that.
That's really cool.
So, but generally speaking, Fallout 4 is beyond the size of my stream, and I should have been playing Tomb Raider, but it's Xbox timed exclusive, so can't.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm gonna rent an Xbox. I don't know where or how, but I'm going to
I
rent.
was about to say, can you
Xbox.
rent Xboxes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go to Blockbuster, right? They're still in business, right?
They still
Sure.
have those?
You used to be able to do that. They would rent game consoles.
Yep. Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little independent place near me that used to do it as well.
So that's about it for me. Vaguely contemplating getting a DX Racer and converting from my standing desk that I only ever sit at.
Yay. Though
Yeah.
it's a shame to move from a standing desk. Though I've heard
Yeah.
a lot of things, like there's a lot of people who say, well, standing desks are great unless you use them all the time. In which case it's just as bad as sitting down all the time. We're not meant to be doing either one to the extreme. You're kind of meant to be moving from sitting to standing to sitting to standing throughout the day. So there's
makes
these
sense.
interesting desks that actually have like a lever kind of system that just kind of shunt down and then shunt back up and then shunt down. It's like,
And you're constantly
The
squatting all
problem is
day.
we're also designed to be inherently lazy.
Yes.
So it's very, very difficult to get accustomed to standing at a standing desk. And if you have that easy option of swapping between, you'll never swap.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at a meta-analysis. There's this great YouTube channel called Healthcare Triage, which is run by the Vlog Brothers through this person who's a pediatrician. And basically it talks about medical stuff. And he looked at some meta-analyses of standing desks, and he found that actually there's no real advantage to using them. There was treadmill desks, but they're only minor, apparently. So at the end of the day, I'm like, screw it, I'm going to get a DX Racer.
Yeah, but
And
you
it's
gotta
pretty comfy.
You
It is
can't
very comfy.
base it on one study. I mean, because
Oh, it's
there's also
meta-analysis, so it
studies
looked
that
at
say
several
the
studies.
opposite. So
Yeah, it was a meta-analysis. It looked at all of them and it went, overall, there's no real like conclusive evidence. And there are ones that say this and ones that say that. So
I think the real advantage is making sure that you're standing, then sitting, then standing. Basically, just engage the muscles in the legs.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's basically what you have to do.
The easiest way I found to do that is to be an incredibly thirsty person and never bring a big glass into my
with
into
a
my
small
room.
bladder.
Yeah, well, no, but a really small glass.
That's how I do it.
Oh well, yeah, that would work the same way. Actually, that's more or less the same thing, but just from the different direction.
This is water. This is water. This is water. They're all full, but I'll have to get up to pee before I.
I was mortified for a second. I was like, "This is water. This is water, and this is my emergency bottle if I really can't get up fast enough." It's like, okay, this is going
Recyclable
so grim.
bottles. That's why there are multiple bottles, guys. Multiple bottles.
No,
I've got
this
one
is
in the thing.
No.
no.
No, my ex-university president actually designed a bike which throttles the speed of the connection on your inbuilt computer on the bike, depending on how fast you're pedaling. So to watch a YouTube video, you had to like race downhill on the bike, and if you were just like looking at like a text web page, just slowly pedal. But anyway, Meltus, what have you been doing today? Avak?
I'm just mortified with the idea that you have to trick yourself to exercise. But I have been playing quite a lot of Fallout, as the same as like a load of people. I wasn't even sure I was going to do it, but at all. But then it's actually a really, really fun game. Really, really fun. I've also been playing a bit of Planet Base still. Still playing through Anno 2205. Really enjoying that, actually. I mean, a lot of people will point out of the way it has deviated quite extremely from the traditional Anno kind of formula. And there are certainly parts of the older Annos that I actually like quite a lot, and that's why I like Anno, that aren't there, and that's a bit of a shame. But it's one of those games where you kind of you find yourself explaining it to someone else and saying, if you take the game on its own, if you forget that it's part of an Anno game, it's actually a really good game, you know? But then stacking it up with the others, I mean, there are some things that are really, really good improvements. There are some that are, graphically it's beautiful. But in other ways, it has lost some of the sort of city builder micromanagement aspects that I think a lot of people looked to the Anno games for, quite specifically, you know? Managing the inventories of your places and moving them around. Other than that, just plodding along, doing the same things. I've gotten back into Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead again. Really enjoying that. Returns to my very long-standing character, Isdar, the pretty cannibal. He's really pretty. He's a psychopath, so he doesn't feel guilty about killing zombies, even if they look like children, and he'll eat humans. But he's really empathic. He loves animals, just hates people. Just people are food. Oh, yeah, loves people, yeah. Very delicious people, but, doesn't really care for them too much. Loves animals, though. Really loves them. Yeah, and they love him, too.
So
he's like
I'm
the
imagining
Snow
a cross
White.
between Dr. Dolittle
Yes.
and Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, pretty accurate, yeah. I like
That
this.
might be the hardest film to ever rate. Just saying.
Yeah.
Across a U of an 18.
Awesomeness ensues. But that's been me for the last week.
Okay. Rumba?
Unlike everyone else, I've not played a single lick of Fallout 4, and nor do I have any interest in it whatsoever. I hate to be the naysayer, but it seems to me, from everything I've read, that it's just like a crappy reboot of Fallout 3 with all kinds of problems, and so I do not like serialized releases. When they're like, oh, hey, it's 2015. It's time for a new version of FIFA. It's time for a new version of football. It's time for a new Call of Duty. It's time for a new Fallout. Like, blah.
Do not knock FIFA this year. Because
No.
finally, we have women in it. Finally.
Nope.
So this
And loads of people
version,
complain.
every
and the
other
sales
year,
did
I
well.
will agree with you about the serialized
Oh, no.
games. But
No,
this year FIFA is different because we have women finally. Sorry, mini rant.
From a business perspective, I have absolutely no issue whatsoever with serialized game releases because they're immensely profitable. Like Call of Duty and like all these, they're just insanely profitable because people buy them every single year. But as far as like the content itself, like you could probably, pick one and play once every 3 or 4 years. You'll be good to go. Like, you don't need to play every season. But what I have been playing, I have played Anno, like Avek, and I've enjoyed that. It's a gorgeous game. It's very, very pretty.
Good.
Gameplay is very dull. It's very easy. The game is so dumbed down, but it's beautiful. It's got all these like side quests to like distract you from actually playing the game. They're like, oh, you want to build modules? No.
You need to go and have this war. Go fight this battle.
you don't have enough graphene for that, sir. I need you to go find this glider somewhere on the map. Go find it. Also, I want you to go do this mini game that's like this horrible version of like just stupid combat. Has nothing to do whatsoever with Anno. I need you to go do that for 20 minutes so that you can continue to play Anno.
Oh, 20 minutes. 20 minutes is nice compared to the master level difficulty of that, which is like, you're going to be playing this for about 2 episodes. Have fun.
No, I've literally played probably, I'm on like episode 25, and I think I've done 2 combat missions because I have no interest in them whatsoever. Yeah. But then you get to the point where if you really want to be profitable on your production chains, you have to have modules, and you can't get modules without graphene and the other types of specialized goods, and you can't get those from the market because reasons. So you have to go do these mini games that are not at all related to the game. It drives me nuts.
Well, I'm glad I didn't really do that one then. Briar, what have you been up to?
Well, actually, doing Fallout 4. I just got back into it, and I spent the entirety of last night trying to model the face for Donald Trump. So I'm gonna go through that. Donald Trump in the wasteland.
I'm gonna have to watch this.
It's gonna
I
be
need
ridiculous.
to watch this series to see how you make your choices. Just thinking about how Donald Trump would do some of the choices I've already gone through in the game. This is gonna be hilarious.
Well, I have an idea about how to start, and it's gonna be completely opposite from everybody else, which should be fun. I have no idea what's gonna happen, obviously, and neither does anybody else. So that's the thing. And yeah, I guess honestly, it's gonna be taking over my life for the next, I should say, few weeks at least. All the things, but that's a thing. I figure, I could. There's a lot of other games that would be helpful for me in terms of like growth, in terms of my channel and stuff like that. But I keep thinking, you know what? I'm having fun, and if I'm having fun, I'm ready to go. I'll just have fun. So and Fallout 4 is, but there are some complaints I have, but overall, still having fun.
Yeah, I think that sums up my view on Fallout 4. Like, Fallout 4, the port's got its problems. In general, it's really good. I mean, the engine they've had for ever, like, the engine they're using is, like, 20 years old or some craziness.
Yeah. I'm a little dark.
It was hard to make me tank the frame rate on it. Like, I had to go up to the top of, like, a really tall tower and look around to get below 60.
Yeah.
Like, it's... They've got the engine down, but there are issues with it. But other than that, it's a fairly good game. Definitely the shooting is better than Fallout 3. It actually feels like shooting.
Yeah.
Rather than like a bow, which happens to look like a gun.
Right.
Skyrim style. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying that. I'm playing that on my channel. I'm ridiculously dumping content on that because I'm enjoying playing on my new rig, which I now have and built.
No, just to put this out there, when Fallout came out, he spent like an hour in Skype texting me, why won't it record at the right frame rate? That was so
The
bad.
story was going, okay, the game's playing at 60 FPS, but I'm only recording it at like 45.
Yes.
That cool? And I was like, no, that's not cool. I spent hours. I asked Avik, he didn't know. I spent hours. I fiddled with all the options. I Googled everything. And then I got to this option. I was like, you know what? I'll enable this just in case. Enable multi-GPU rendering. Works. I have 1 GPU! 1! I don't even have an integrated GPU. But yeah, so I've been playing that. I've been playing some more Prison Architect, a giant riot that's just about to kick off.
Yay.
More From the Depths. I'm still waiting for them to kind of make the shells not tank the frame rate so much. I'll be looking forward to putting that on this beast. And I've been playing Mountain Blade Warband and a few other things. Kind of having a nice October-November game season, really.
I need to watch your Mountain Blade series, because I actually really enjoy Mountain Blade, but your Mountain Blade series has been going for a little bit, hasn't it?
It's up to 60-something episodes now.
I think that's why I haven't started watching it. It's like, I have no time to catch up to 60 episodes of a game.
Now, like, the issue with Mountain Blade, it goes on a while, and people are like, you should play Optimine. And I'm like, no, I want the guys with the pretty coats in my group. But yeah. Anyway, we better get on with the D&Ding.
Yes.
Would anyone like to shout out the charity you're raising money for?
Oh yeah, that was gonna be me.
Okay.
You
Hang on,
volunteered and you don't remember.
That was fantastic.
Uh,
I'm just going to eat this food. Oh, wait, no, that's me.
Yeah.
You're too busy thinking about FIFA, right?
So yeah, right. No, actually, I'm talking about Twitch being twitchy in my chat. It keeps dropping, like it keeps black screening me, and you just have to keep pausing it and unpausing it until it comes back. And I know that it's a Twitch issue and not a me issue because Geek and Sundry has been fighting with it all morning.
Oh.
So, we are playing for the Charity Water. Charity Water is a wonderful organization where 100% of your donations go towards building and maintaining water infrastructure, allowing people access to clean water, which is a wonderful, wonderful cause because you kind of need water. So donate, and then we get stuff if we hit certain goals. It's a good cause. Do it. Do it. Right now.
There we go. You've been told. Right. So yeah, great cause. And last time we left you, you were headed down into the
URL. I forgot the URL.
URL. Oh yeah, tiny.cc/Role4It Water. If you go to tiny.cc/Role4It Water, you'll be able to donate to Charity Water directly there. Hundreds of the proceeds and all that stuff. I don't know if I wonder if PayPal take a cut because PayPal have a lot of deals where they take no cut.
If it's a registered 5013C, they do not take a cut.
Okay.
And people can't donate and then pull back the money. You can't, like, that's a concern for a lot of Twitch people. You get people that come in and donate a certain amount of money and then will,
I didn't know that.
whatchamacallit.
Recall it.
Yeah, we'll take
yeah.
it back.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, haha, screw you too. You can't do that if it's a registered charity.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So yeah, last time we left off, you were headed into a hidden basement behind an illusionary stack of effectively spam and other canned goods. And by canned, I mean jarred or bottled because they don't have canning. And there was a long shaft with a ladder leading down. You just discovered there was a doppelganger who had pretended to be the dwarf that first greeted you and then pretended to be one of your erstwhile comrades, Scarlet, who is now trapped somewhere outside the house.
Which I took offense to.
Yes.
Which you took offense to. And the doppelganger quickly changed out of that form. And you were headed down to the basement to try and figure out what the hell was going on.
Yes.
And we get back to our
Do we
scene.
need the map still?
Not right now.
Is the basement a simple area that you'll be able to describe?
The basement's a simple area.
Okay.
Don't worry, though, you won't need a map
Shall
for that
we
one.
drop the map? Because then people can see...
Oh, are you actually stuck? Well, sorry, I forget when I'm leaving you on the map or not. Let me flip over my map.
Thank you.
I drew on it. I drew a circle, just so everyone knew. It's very important.
It looks like a tornado.
Yeah, we found it. It's in there. Yeah. So for the record, just so everyone knows, I've decided that I don't have issue with the doppelganger. This is metagaming a little bit again, but like, okay, in the monster manual it says monstrosity, and so the way I look at it from a druid perspective, like monstrosity must be evil, must kill, but that's apparently not true, and so I just think it's worth stating that monstrosities are not necessarily evil. It's apparently just more of a classification of beast. Is that not true?
Yeah, monstrosity
more
is
or
a
less.
classification of beast.
Right. It just means like I can transform into beasts. I cannot transform into monstrosities. But that does not necessarily mean that a beast is more or less evil than a monstrosity.
Yes. I think monstrosities are also, I think from your perspective as Aramil, there's a lot of things about, is this natural, is this not natural? Monstrosities are effectively natural in the world, in that they come into it and go out of it in much a normal sense. Much the same as beasts.
Monstrosity is more
beasts,
a cultural classification almost about what
I think
you
so.
see as a monstrosity. It's not like whatever the one is begins with a aberration, which is it's something that's been magically changed. Monstrosity is more just a classification as people find them scary. But we're heading down to the basement. There is a long, dark tunnel which you're currently congregated around, and you made the doppelganger go first. So the doppelganger is slowly going down the rungs ahead of you, and you're currently waiting in the pantry. Do you want to go down? If so, what order do you want to go down in?
We'd already determined that it was doppelganger, then me.
Then me.
Yep.
I'll go after that. Sure.
Yeah, I think I'd probably be best in the rear of the party.
Okay. So you head down to the basement. It's quite a time climbing down those steps.
Okay.
It's not particularly close. We're talking maybe 3 stories building in terms of how far you have to climb. The rungs are slippery, covered in a little bit here of slime and water. Not particularly easy to climb. Everyone make athletics checks.
I just went to reach for physical dice. You're killing me.
Athletics checks being acrobatics or
Athletics,
No,
I'm afraid.
Athletics
it's a strength test.
is a specific.
It's an actual thing. Strength modifier.
can we go acrobatics? I have a negative.
I'm sorry.
All right,
I would
so
love
I'm
it
gonna
if we
roll
could
well
go
anyway.
acrobatics.
It's gonna be amazing. Okay, well, maybe not. I will.
Okay. So we've had Aramil, Master of Tulips.
Oh, for
Wolf
Christ's
Slayer.
sake, are you kidding me?
With your plus
Athletics
5
is
and everything.
7.
Jeez. Okay. So I could have a
Saruman got
I got a
7,
10.
Tulip's got 11, Wolfslayer got 10, and
There he
Malphas
is!
living up to his
There he is!
reputation.
Yay!
The first dice roll for Malphas of the session being a 1.
Okay, you know what? I feel that deserves a drink, so I'm going to go quickly grab myself a beer.
It's the only way
I
he's
think
going
you
to
should-
cope with that.
Yeah, but he's gonna make it a shot with a 1 for crying out loud.
What the hell is with his dice? Like, make another account.
That's
the best
great.
way.
That's
Burn
fantastic.
assault the
We
dice.
can't burn these dice in effigy. So make
Hey,
a new account.
At least it wasn't an attack roll where he's gonna shoot me in the neck again.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
That's right. That happened.
I got this wonderful Chester from Don't Starve Together. Somebody got this for me, and I'm using it to keep all my dice in.
I really,
Nice.
really cannot believe that.
I only can because it's what you
The
do.
beer I'm going to be drinking, by the way, is the Thirsty Ferret.
Ooh.
Yes.
Gwen will be pleased. Your ferret Gwen will be pleased. People have been asking, by the way, in chat what your ferret's name was.
Gwen.
If this
So-
isn't justice, I don't. I rolled a physical die just to be like, fine, let's see what it would have been. Exactly the same.
Your dice have synced up. Right. So as you're going down the rungs, unfortunately, you get about halfway, and there's one rung which is just a little bit loose in the wall. And as Malthus goes to put his foot on it, it slips, comes out of the wall. He falls. On the way down, he hits Wolfslayer. Wolfslayer, make an athletics check.
Catch me, Wolfslayer. Please.
Question.
you know-
Because I am behind him, could I make a reflex save to catch him?
The problem is you're going down on a ladder with a very tight space. You can't really go end over end to catch him.
That's
Yeah, plus
I
I'm
have a
between
tail.
you two.
Like, hang on to the tail.
And yeah, and a rumber is between.
Hang on to the
athletics
tail.
To catch him, or would it be like acrobatics
count as
to dodge
both.
out of the way? Or
It'll be an athletics check. You can't really dodge; it's a tight space. But if you
Okay.
pass really well, you'll grab him. If you pass just, you'll not fall.
how about a 21?
As Malthus is falling past you, bumps into you, you turn around with one hand and grab him by the collar.
Thank you, not the tail.
Not the tail, no.
That would have been awkward.
Not the tail.
I'd have just been hanging upside down. The doppelganger's going down the road, and then my head just. Hi.
Malthus comes to a jerking stop, looking very down, maybe 2 foot away from the doppelganger, who looks up, who is currently in the shape of a chisel-jawed, strapping, blonde-haired human. The picture of if you were going to draw handsome from classical Prince fairy tale type thing, it's this guy. And he looks up and goes, "Are you okay over there? Do you need some help?"
Yeah, just trying to get down a little bit faster, that's all.
Okay. And he reaches out,
So tempted to drop you.
helps take the weight from Wolfslayer, who's currently holding you one-handed below herself. And she's strong, but
Okay.
one-handed holding someone below yourself on a rung, which is already slippy to begin with, is tough. The doppelganger helps take hold of you and lowers you down below him on the ladder, and lets you grab onto it, so you're going first. And
Thank you.
Continue down.
Okay. I'm now in the lead.
You get to the bottom.
That is possibly the least destructive one I've ever rolled. My
Your
goodness.
party make up for it.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Awesome party.
So you get to the bottom. You end up in a small tunnel where you'll have to be a little bit hunched. It's obviously a dwarf-sized tunnel. It looks like it has been carved out and then carefully propped up here with some bricks, some mortar, and in places timber framing. It doesn't look like it's a professionally done tunnel, but it looks like it's a well-done tunnel, probably dwarf standard, but nothing particularly well-traveled. And after like 5 meters, there is a door.
What does the door look like? Is there anything I can see about it?
It's made of wood. There is some iron bands to it. It looks like a pretty... It's definitely a door which is designed to keep people out. It's not just like an internal door, but it's not anything particularly fancy. If you want to like investigate the door more closely for anything, let me know.
First thing I'll do is simply turn and ask the doppelganger, is there any knack to this door? Any trap I should be aware of? Any mechanism?
Well, there is actually a trap on it that I have to keep dodging every time I go inside. There's like some sort of rune on the door handle.
Okay. Can I inspect? Let me have a look at. Do I have anything like detect traps or anything like that?
As a rogue, you can just look for them anyway, but anyone can look for them. I don't think you have any particular knack for it, other than the fact it's based off dexterity, and I think it's based off sleight of hand. Is it lockpicking? Isn't a separate skill? Is it? Or is it?
Lockpicking is not a separate skill, but I do have
sleight of hand then.
tools. Okay.
A lockpicking set. Yes, you have proficiency with a lockpicking set, which is what you have.
Yeah.
That's the one that you use for that.
Okay. So, what type of trap is it? You say you have to dodge it. Is it something that'll shoot down the hallway that other people need to be prepared for, or just something that'll affect the door?
I don't know. I've never activated it myself. Obviously, that would probably be very bad. But what I normally do is I carefully grab the side of the handle and turn it and try and avoid pressing the button. It's a little bit tricky considering the tight crawl space, but I can turn into a dwarf. And he looks at the rest of you. I could open the door for you and hold it open if you want.
Sure.
Do we trust him
Can
for
you
that?
hold it?
Sure. Actually,
Can you not disarm traps?
That's what I
You
was
can
asking
disarm
about.
traps, but anyone can disarm traps. It just depends on... I think disarming traps comes under sleight of hand.
Right. Well, I'm willing to try to disarm the trap. Can I? That's what I was asking earlier about. Do I have anything with traps?
Not knowing the nature of it, I don't think that we should let the doppelganger, who we don't entirely trust.
yeah. I was going to make an insight check on
hold
that.
the
Yeah, I mean that's
No
literally what I was asking about. But then it was like, oh well.
Sorry, yeah.
I'm sorry, doppelganger. Do you have a name?
Bob.
Well, I was last known as Bronzewood. That was a dwarf who lived here.
Good enough.
Do you have a name?
What was your name? Yeah, what was your name before that? Or before
Oh.
you...
Before that,
Took
it
someone
was
else's form.
Flatfoot. I was a hobbit. Before I took someone
No.
else's form.
Okay. Well,
Before you ever
Let's,
took a form.
guys,
whilst everyone behind me is having a discussion with the shapeshifter,
Okay.
can I do an arcana check on the door just to see if
Yeah.
I can work out what the trap is? Because before trying to disarm it, I think it might be nice if I knew it's going to be a fireball, it's going to be a lightning bolt, or whatever. So just arcana. 16.
It's some sort of shape-changing spell that affects anyone who touches it, who doesn't say a command word or something.
Okay.
Shape
Right.
changing.
Well,
now
Give
I
it-
kind of want to hit it.
given that,
Shove somebody through the door. Thaumaturgy. Just joking.
Can I use my mage hand to try to disarm the trap from a distance?
Yes. I'd make it ever so slightly harder,
Yeah.
but I'd also make it then slightly easier because you now know something about the trap.
Okay. All right. Well, backing. Everyone needs to back up just a little bit. I move as far back as I can, and then I use my mage hand cantrip and try to disarm the trap. What do I need to roll for this?
Okay.
Is it sleight of hand?
It'll be sleight of hand check, I think.
Okay. Oh, I saw that one. I saw that one. I was like, no, no, no.
It's like, oh.
Okay, so you go over with your mage hand. You sort of carefully try and figure out a way to move the doorknob. And then you just twist out one of the screws on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Remove the doorknob. Drop it on the floor. Mage hand grabs the effectively the bolt that the doorknob normally sits on. Just turns the doorknob.
Oh, okay.
The bolt that's left there just
There we
ignores the doorknob and leaves it on the ground.
I know. So I push open the door. What do I see on the other side before going through it?
Inside is what appears to be a big rectangular room. Not big, but big compared to this tunnel.
Okay.
A vaulted ceiling that's maybe 12 foot tall. It's maybe 15 foot wide by about 20 foot long. In the middle, there's sort of a stained pool of blood. There's some arcane symbols drawn in what looks like to be some sort of circle or pentagram from this angle. You can't really tell. And there's bookshelves. There are item racks. There's a couple of passages leading off to the sides.
Okay. Before
And
stepping...
kneeling
Oh.
in the middle of the pentagram is a shimmering form who sees you and instantly goes invisible.
Goes into what?
Fairy fire?
Goes invisible.
Fairy fire. Fairy fire.
Yeah, I have the fairy fire scroll on me. Can I use that?
It's in Dwarvish.
How is a magical scroll in Dwarvish?
All scrolls are written in a language, according to the book I looked up last time. You just have to pronounce the syllables, and you can say a spell. Even if you aren't a magic user, you just have to make an intelligence check.
Oh, okay.
I think that's according to the DM's manual.
That is new.
I'm fine with that. Okay. Well, I
Yeah,
can't.
I'm just saying. Oh, okay.
I mean, I'll double check after the
That's a new
session.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't mean to. Like,
But I'm pretty sure I
not-
looked it up last time
not
because I
trying
was
to
like,
second
really?
guess. I'm just
Anyone
like,
can do
oh,
it?
all right, that's weird because it's never been that way before. But there's a
Yeah.
lot of things
Yeah.
in 5e
True.
that have never been before. So
I mean, I might be getting wrong, but I'm pretty sure I looked it up
That
last
is-
time and was like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah. people in chat are like, that is new. I'm like, ooh,
Well,
okay.
I think I've got it right now.
Okay.
Weapons, multiple items, blah blah blah. Spells, activating item, command words, consumables, special features, charges. There we go. Scrolls. Scrolls are unique, blah blah blah, in a written form. While a few bear unique incantations that produce potent wards, sometimes it's blah 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 blah. It's a magical item. Whatever the nature of the item, magic contained in the scroll, unleashing that magic requires an action to read the scroll. When its magic's been invoked, the scroll can't be used anymore. Any creature that can understand a written language. Any written language. Okay, so it doesn't have to be Dwarvish. You can read the language.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have to be Dwarvish.
So I can just use
So
the...
that's what I had thought, that it
Yeah.
didn't have
Yeah.
a particular language.
It was
I
just
read
a
it as
magic
The
scroll.
language was
Anyone who
arcane.
can understand the written language, but it's anyone who can understand a written language. So,
All right. So I'm going to use the spell scroll of fairy fire then.
in which case you need to make an intelligence check.
Okay.
And
it.
I need to find out what the DC is. I think the DC is only 10.
Okay, so it's just a d20 plus my base intelligence modifier, is that right?
I think it's probably intelligence, but it might be Arcana. Roll Arcana, because it seems... I'm going to go with Arcana, and I'll check the rules later.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
it seems sensible to be Arcana for now.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Plus
Wow.
Arcana is 24. Not that it matters, but...
It had to happen sometime.
It's the way you roll. Half the time it's crits, half the time it's crit fails.
I know, I don't roll in the middle. I am a man of extremes. I
You pull out
extremely bad or
the scroll
extremely
of
good.
fairy fire and you start reading from it. And as you do, you find it incredibly easy. It's almost like something you've half forgotten in the back of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
The scroll begins to crumble and the words sort of turn into flame and disappear, almost into sort of a sort of grey smoke that quickly evaporates into the air. And all around you, little lights start appearing in the air. A bit like very small bits of blossom falling from a tree in autumn in a very still wind.
Okay.
And then they start grabbing on and sticking to every solid surface around. And you notice that in the middle of the room ahead, they also start sticking to the outline of a vaguely humanoid dwarvish figure who was, until now, invisible. Everyone roll initiative.
I would like to hit it.
Yeah.
Me too.